discussing two verses from Bhagavad-gītā 10.29 and 30. Let us recite these two verses. Anantaschasmi nagana varno yadasamaham pitranam aryama chasmi yamasamyamatam aham. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Of the many hooded nagas, I am Ananta. And among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the Lord of Death. To the next verse. Prahaladascha daityana kalakalayatamaham mriganam cha mrigendroham vainateyascha pakshinam. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahalada. Among the subduers, I am time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So, Hare Krishna. So, we are in this 10th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. So, talking about the opulences of Krishna, right? In fact, from verse number 19 up to 42, Krishna's opulences will be there. See, Lord Krishna's opulences, is visible through the various manifestations of his energies in the world. There's so many creations, so many things are natural things. So these are all the opulences of the Lord, right? So it is interesting to see how Krishna, in this chapter, he's presenting his glories, right? He's giving his presentation, just like people give presentation in the corporate world. So Krishna is giving in his corporate for everyone to understand. So it's how he presents his glories, right? See, in general, what happens, he presents a group within the world and then shows how he is the prominent aspect. Like of the Marus on this, I am of this, I am the I am. Sorry. See, in the first verse translation, Krishna says to Arjuna, listen again. He's telling to Arjuna, listen again, oh mighty armed Arjuna. Because you are my dear friend, for your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. So the purport Prabhupada said, the word Bhagavan, right? See, this Bhagavad-gītā starts with Dhritarashtra Vacha, Sanjaya Vacha, Arjuna Vacha. It is not Krishna Vacha, it is Bhagavan Vacha. So it is Bhagavan. So word Bhagavan is explained by Parashara Muni. He says, one who is full in 6 opulences. That is, who has full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. He is Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So while Krishna was when he was present on this earth, he displayed all the 6 opulences. So great sages like Parashara Muni, they all accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now Krishna is instructing Arjuna in more confidential knowledge of his opulences and his work. See, beginning with the 7th chapter, we saw Krishna had explained his different energies, how they are acting. Now in this chapter, 10th chapter, he explains his specific opulences to Arjuna. In the previous 9th chapter, he has clearly explained his different energies to establish devotion in firm conviction. So again in this chapter, he is telling Arjuna about his manifestations and various opulences. And Prabhupada says, the more one hears about the Supreme God, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. The more and more we hear this Krishna Katha of whatever Krishna is telling Bhagavad-gītā, when you hear again and again, one becomes very fixed in devotional service. So that means one should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees. And that will enhance one's devotional service. That's what we are doing every day. Morning we are coming for Bhagavad-gītā, right? In the association of devotees we are hearing. So this will enhance one's devotional service. In the purport of second verse, here the Lord indirectly says that if anyone wants to know about the absolute truth, so Krishna is telling, here I am present as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is telling, I am the Personality. I am the Supreme. So one should know this. See, although one cannot understand the inconceivable Lord, who is personally present, he is existing. He is there. He is none other than existing. So we can actually understand Krishna, who is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. Simply by studying his words in Bhagavad-gītā and Bhagavatam, we can understand Krishna. And the purport of the third verse, he says, anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. Very important point. Anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. It cannot be contaminated by material reactions, right? Which may be auspicious or inauspicious. See, the conception that there are things auspicious and inauspicious in this material world is more or less a mental concoction, because there is nothing auspicious in this material world, Prabhupada says. Everything is inauspicious because the very material nature is inauspicious. We simply imagine it to be auspicious. And Prabhupada says, what is real auspiciousness then? Real auspiciousness depends on activities in Krishna consciousness in full devotion and service. Real auspiciousness depends on activities in Krishna consciousness in full devotion and service. Therefore, if we at all want our activities to be auspicious, then we should work under the direction of the Supreme Lord. See, such directions are given in authoritative scriptures like Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-gītā, or even from a bona fide spiritual master. Now, because the spiritual master is a representative of the Supreme Lord, his direction is directly the direction of the Supreme Lord. So in the 16th verse, Arjuna is asking Krishna, Krishna, please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. And he asking him, oh Krishna, how shall I constantly think of you? And how shall I know you? So Arjuna is asking Krishna, in what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? So in the 19th verse, Krishna replies, yes, I will tell you my splendorous manifestations, but only those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. We're just giving a fragment. So Krishna mentions a few of his unlimited opulences from the verse 10.20 up to 10.39. So in this verse, in the purport, Prabhupada says, we saw, right? Of the many hooded Nagas, I am Ananta. Among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the Lord of Death. Purport, he says, among the many hooded Naga serpents, Ananta is the greatest, as is the demigod Varuna among the aquatics. And Prabhupada says, they both represent Krishna. See, I am, so he says, I am Ananta. So I am, it is representing Krishna. And he also says, there is also a planet of Pitas, ancestors, presided over by Aryama, who represents Krishna. There are many living entities who give punishment to the miscreants. And among them, Yama is the chief. Yama is situated in a planet near this earthly planet. After death, those who are very sinful are taken there. And Yama arranges different kinds of punishment for them. So this is what is in this 29th. In the 30th verse, we saw, right? Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am time. This is very important, time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, Diti and Aditi are two sisters. The sons of Aditi are called Adityas. And the sons of Diti are called Daityas. So all the Adityas are devotees of the Lord. And all the Daityas are atheistic. See, although Prahalada was born in the family of Daityas, demons, right? And he was a great devotee from his childhood. And because of his devotion service and very godly nature, he is considered to be a representative of Krishna. That's why Krishna says, I am Prahalada, right? So there are many subduing principles, right? But time wears down all things in the middle universe. And so represents Krishna. Of the many animals, lion is the most powerful and ferocious. And of the many billion varieties of birds, Garuda, the bearer of Lord Vishnu, is the greatest. So you can see of the various, he's telling, I am this, I am this, I am this, right? So of the many hooded Nagas, I am Ananta, right? Of the ancestors, I am Aryama. Among Daityas, I am the devoted Prahlada, right? And the main point is, among subduers, I am the time. Kala, Kalasmi, right? Aham Kalosmi. So the time is a very, very powerful thing, right? Which we can see. We'll discuss a little bit more on about time also in this one. See, while explaining to Uddhava about the power of time, Krishna says in Bhagavatam 11:22-43, my dear Uddhava, material bodies are constantly undergoing creation and destruction by the force of time, whose swiftness is imperceptible. We cannot perceive it. But because of the subtle nature of time, no one sees this, right? It's not possible to see at all. And in one of his classes, my Gurumara used to say, time is not like a government officer. That means he cannot be bribed. No corruption. Time cannot be bribed. As the saying goes, right? Time and tide waits for none. See, our bodies, they keep changing every moment. And before we realize, we have wrinkles on our skin. Color of hair becomes white. So time is working subtly on every material object. And we should be very conscious of this. And this is Krishna consciousness. See, not only in this verse, Krishna has also confirmed in Bhagavad-gītā 10.30, right? We saw it just now. Kala kalayatam aham. I am subdues, I am time. So words from the lotus mouth of Krishna are absolute truth. So realizing that subtle and swift value of time, let us give our laziness, lethargy, and procrastinating attitude. We should give it up for doing devotional service. Because the nature of time is so swift, right? See, at the present moment, whatever material conditions we are in, okay, whatever health we are bestowed with, it is the best. It's the best condition for us to perform bhakti. So let us not give any lame excuses that we will start chanting or reading Bhagavad-gītā and Bhagavatam after such and such problem gets solved. Not possible. Problems may get solved or even get aggravated. But with devotional service, we will be able to tolerate them. And without devotional service, we will only suffer more and more and be completely lost. So let us sincerely invest our time for Krishna. We are investing so many here and there, right? Stocks, mutual funds. So let us sincerely invest time for Krishna. He will bestow us more and more opportunity to serve Him, irrespective of our material miseries. So on the other hand, if we voluntarily do not invest our time for Krishna, then definitely we would be subdued by the time personified. See, Krishna made time famous by revealing it as being non-different from himself, the supreme controller of all living entities. That's why in this 30th verse, he says, Kala Kalayatam Ham, among subdues I am time. In Bhagavatam verse 10.3.26, Devaki Mata says, O inaugurator of the material energy, this wonderful creation works under the control of powerful time, which is divided into seconds, minutes, hours, and years. This element of time, which extends for many millions of years, is but another form of Lord Vishnu. For your pastimes, you act as the controller of time, but you are the reservoir of all good fortune. You are the reservoir of all good fortune. So let me offer my full surrender unto your Lordship. So this, see, but time is such an abstract thing, right? So one may object, right? How is it controlling us in the real sense of the term? See, we shall see time controls us by motion. See, time is rotating wheel called Kala Chakra, on which the sun, which brings forth the seconds, minutes, hours of the day, which is situated, right? So in Brahma Samhita, beautiful verse, Yachakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam Raja Samasta Suramoti Rashesha Tejaha Yasya Jnaya Brahmati Sambrata Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The sun is the king of all planetary systems and has unlimited potency in heat and light. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under whose control even the sun, which is considered with the eye of the Lord, rotates within the fixed orbit of eternal time. So Prabhupada explains in his purport to verse 10.3.26 Bhagavatam, every minute, every second, every day, every night, every month, and every year of time can be calculated according to the sun's movements. But the sun is not independent, for it is under the time's control. Brahmati Sambrata Kala Chakra. The sun moves within the Kala Chakra, the orbit of time. So when the sun rises in the morning, our day starts, bringing forth our assigned duties one by one. If the sun would not arise, we would also not arise, right? So what to speak of performing duties? We would have found ourselves in a completely frozen or inactive state. So by the force of the sun, we are working. Because if the sun wouldn't move through the ecliptic, right? It wouldn't force the seconds, minutes, hours, days, right? It will not appear, which in turn forces us to appear at work, right? Because of the sun, we are able to work. Bhagavatam 5:22:5, it says, the sun god, who is Narayana or Vishnu, the soul of all the worlds, is situated in outer space between the upper and lower portions of the universe. Passing through 12 months on the wheel of time, the sun comes in touch with 12 different signs of the zodiac and assumes 12 different names according to those signs. So the aggregate of those 12 months is called Samvatsara, or an entire year. This is given in Bhagavad 5:22:5. See, as soon as Govinda, as Kalachakra moves, that moves the sun, which in turn moves us. So that's what Shukadeva Goswami says in Bhagavatam 10:51-19. Inexhaustible time, stronger than the strong, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So like a herdsman moving his animals along, he moves mortal creatures as his pastime. Very powerful. So why does Krishna move us like this? The Acharyas explain that the universe is created to gradually rectify the contaminated souls trying to exploit material nature. That's the reason. So the Lord moves us along according to karma, like a protector of animals, through the various stages of spiritual rectification, so that we may one day be able to enjoy our eternal life, full of bliss and knowledge as his enlightened associates. So in the present, being rectified. That's why in Bhagavatam 8:17-27, Brahmaji says, "O my Lord, you are the beginning, the manifestation, and the ultimate dissolution of the three worlds. And you are celebrated in the Vedas as a reservoir of unlimited potency, is the Supreme Person. O my Lord, as waves attract branches and leaves that have fallen into deep water, you, the supreme eternal time factor, attract everything in this universe." So Brahma Samhita also, where Brahma establishes the supremacy of the Lord, and he prays, Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. So here Brahmaji also says that the Lord is the cause of the universe. Its origin, maintenance, and dissolution. He is the supreme person, Purusham, and his potencies are unlimited, Ananta Shakti. So we are very, very limited, and are incapable of creating anything on our own. What to speak of maintaining our sources of all our abilities comes from Krishna. We are existing in this material world due to Krishna's mercy. That's why he says, among subduers, I am time. Kala Kalayata Maham. So he controls everything in this material world by force of time. So just like how the branches and leaves, they fall into deep water and are easily carried away by the waves, right? Similarly, Krishna in the form of waves of time controls us. So whatever karma we perform in this material world, we are bound to face the reactions in due course of time. So nothing goes unnoticed by the Lord. But he rewards the reactions at the right time. That's why in Bhagavatam 8:2-33, Gajendra says, Yakashchanesho balinonta koragat prachand vegat abhidavato brisham bhitam prapannam paripati yadbhayan mrityu pradavatyarnam tamimahi. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is certainly not known to everyone, but he is very powerful and influential. Therefore, although the serpent of eternal time, which is fearful in force, endlessly chases everyone, ready to swallow him, if one who fears this serpent seeks shelter of the Lord gives him protection, for even death runs away in fear of the Lord. So I therefore surrender unto him, the great and powerful supreme authority, who is the actual shelter of everyone. So Gajendra is praying so beautifully. So whenever we see the serpent of eternal time, Bhagavatam 4:24-66, we should remember that warning that is given in chanting of the songs sung by Lord Shiva. 4:24-66. This verse is very, very powerful verse. One of the favorite verses of my Guru Maharaj. It says, my dear Lord, all living entities within this middle world are mad after planning for things. Mad after planning for things. And they're always busy with a desire to do this or that. This is due to uncontrollable greed. So the greed for material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity. But your Lordship is always alert. And in due course of time, you strike him. Just as a snake seizes a mouse and very easily swallows him. Unfortunately for us, we are always so busy, mad and planning for this and that, and uncontrolled greed is there. We forget that Lord comes in the form of eternal time. And he's so alert that before we know what is happening to ourselves, right, he consumes us in the form of death. So very powerful statements, especially this time. Time is a very, very powerful factor. So we should be very, very. So Krishna says, Kalos means if you don't respect time, that means you're not respecting Krishna. We sometimes tell somebody, Prabhu, Mataji, I will come there, you wait. And you don't go there. And that Prabhu, Mataji, they are waiting for a long time. So you're wasting your time and also wasting others' time. If you want, my Maharaj used to say, if you want to waste your time, you waste your time, but don't waste others' time. Because wasting time is the greatest crime. Wasting time is the greatest crime. So this is very, very powerful statements. A lot of things to be discussed, but we'll stop here. Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavad-gītā ki Jai Shri Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam to everybody assembled. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Krishna to all
Prabhuji. Dandavat
devotees
pranam.
assembled.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranams, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Hare Krishna,
pranam.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much.